Shadowfire is a dragon who wields great sorcerous power. He's a very powerful sorcerer, as well as a wicked dragon. He had been afflicting the fairies of Arundel Haven for 150 years, ever since the reign of the last king, King Zebulon. And after that, the firstborn had been girls, and who became queens, in which Queen Cymbeline was the latest. But Shadowfire first came to Arundel Haven 150 years ago, and he had captured his queen Beulah. And so grief-stricken, he turns to his daughter Hephzibah and names her the queen in this place, because he knew that he wasn't going to make it, that he would rather die than live without his queen. And that grieved Hephzibah greatly. And so he flies off along with others, and only one survived to tell the tale of the death of the king. And before Queen Hephzibah's death, he told a dream he had to her older daughter, to her daughter Bethany, who became queen just after her mother's death, and told her the dream that she had, that a human would come to Arundel Haven, and along with a fairy maiden bring the destruction of the dragon. And though Bethany did not believe it, she told it to her counselors. It was recorded and was pretty much forgotten by the fairies until it came to Prince Avondale's mind about the prophecy, when Mordecai mentioned that the dragon had spoken to him about a prophecy. Through divination, Shadowfire found out that Mordecai was the one that was mentioned in the prophecy. But somehow the devils could not give him his name or where he lived. It took Dr. Von Braun to do that. And so he started afflicting Mordecai in Mordecai's dreams, appearing in his dream. And no matter how much Mordecai asked, he said, "Questions you have, they will remain unanswered." And he did not tell him anything, not even his name. But after one of the dreams, Mordecai had a name of it. It said Shadowfire, and started calling him Shadowfire. And he later found out from Raven that was his name, Shadowfire. And Shadowfire made an alliance with Dr. Von Braun and President Farouk. And in fact, it was Shadowfire who helped President Farouk do his sorcerous powers to get elected, to get re-elected, and to confound his enemies. And President Farouk so often had communication with Shadowfire through his dreams or through trances, but always through Shadowfire's magic, the magic that he wields. And the message in that, and kind of a message I have in that, about magic, that all magic, good magic and bad magic, are controlled by devils. And Mordecai tells Shadowfire that. And somehow, even though Mordecai was afraid, he could tell Shadowfire was afraid too. He was afraid of the prophecy coming true. That's why Shadowfire came to the human world and captured Mordecai. But Raven followed them, and with God's help, God delivered them out of the claws of Shadowfire. God made a promise, and He intends for it to come true, and He will not let anyone or anything hinder it. But Shadowfire did stop the pursuit, because he had in his mind to reveal Arundel Haven to President Farouk and Dr. Von Braun. And so he stopped pursuit and basically allowed Mordecai and Raven to get away. And so all in all, Shadowfire feared the prophecy for all these years. And he had sacrificed many fairies to the devil, to Ashtaroth. Basically to the devil. And hoped that the prophecy would keep from being fulfilled. But once God gives His word, He will never let it come to naught. Because whatever God says, it will come to pass. And that's one of the lessons in all this. That God always keeps His promises.